Hi, welcome back again. Okay, so we have looked at the frequently past or recurring questions based on, the questions that show up frequently. So we're now here to look at these questions and see if our analysis and all of these things we've talked about, or the topics we've actually said show up frequently, if they do show up, like we've said. So now we're going to be looking at one of the past questions from the previous years, so we can look at them and attempt the questions and see and look at for those topics that we have talked about. Now, the first question we're going to be looking at today is, the study of home economics is important because it, A, provides one with the knowledge of foods, B, makes one a good housewife, C, improves the welfare of the individuals, D, enhances knowledge of community development. Now, what does the study of home economics do? How is it important, or why is it important? Now, it is important because it improves the welfare of the individuals. Now, C is the correct option for that question. Now, home economics, yes, would also provide you information as has to do with the knowledge of food, yes, but that's not the important factor about home economics. That's not the reason why we study home economics. That's not the essence of it. Also, it can also make you a good housewife. Fine and true, yes, but that's not the essence of why we study home economics. That's not the essence of it. That's just a part of it. Now, as a lady, not just the lady, even the man, they can learn some skills, by studying home economics. So it's important, but that's not the very important factor why we study home economics. Now, also enhances the knowledge of community development. Yes, that's not out of place as well, but that's not as important as C, which says improves the welfare of the individuals. Now, it goes beyond all of these things, options we have listed, it goes beyond that. So home economics is very important. The study of home economics is very important because it improves the general welfare of individuals. It goes beyond you as a person, it goes to the family, to the society, and to the nation at large. That's what the study of home economics does. So everything is embossed or embedded in the study of home economics. Now, let's look at the next question. Which of the following is a course under home economics? Now, remember I told you in the previous video about the frequent questions that show up. I said read up for introduction to what home economics. You can see the first two questions already are pointing in that direction, the introduction to home economics. Now, this question says, which of the following is a course under home economics? Now, A, you have anthropology, B, we have dietetics, C, we have civics, D, we have building. And now, which of these? Anthropology, of course is not a course under home economics, that to be studied. B, dietetics. Of course, dietetics has to do with the study of diets and, nutrition and all of that. So B is the correct option for this answer. Civics, of course, is not a course under home economics, and building is not a course under home economics. So the correct option for that answer is what? For that question is dietetics. Now, dietetics is a course under home economics. Please take note. Now, let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is related to home economics? Now, you see, 1, 2, 3, introduction to home economics, so read up. Now, which of the following is related to home economics? A, we have fine arts and geometry. B, we have chemistry and fine arts. C, we have agricultural science and English language. D, we have geography and geometry. Now, which of these subjects are related to home economics? Fine arts and geometry. Fine arts, of course, is related. Geometry, a little bit of calculation and all of that, but not quite. Now, the answer to that question is B, chemistry and fine arts. Now, if you're going to be reading up and looking at the subjects that are related to home economics, you're going to say chemistry. What does chemistry help you do in the study of home economics? It helps you understand the concept of heat. We cook in home economics, we do things that are related to heat management and all of that. So chemistry would help you understand that, the chemicals and all of that. And also fine arts, the artistic part of it, the beauty, home economics has to do with interior decoration. You have to make a home look beautiful, home management. So the correct answer to that question is chemistry and fine art. That is the answer. That's the subject that's related to home economics. Now let's move on to the next question. Individual values are determined by, you see, now I said most of the questions that show up has to do with values, standards, and wants. So this is one question, one topic that has to do with that options we talked about. Now, individual values are determined by A, we have hair color, we have height and weight. C, we have family traits. D, we have beliefs and norms. Now, what are values? Now, values are meaning of worth, things that are, that are valuable to you. That means, worth, something that you can be proud of. Now, these are values, the things you hold, the instincts that you hold dear to. Now, these are values. Now, how are they determined? Are they determined by your hair color? Of course not. So it's not how your hair color looks like that makes you have these values in you. Now, height and weight, of course no. It's not about your height and weight. It's about the beliefs and norms. Of course, sometimes it can be related to beliefs and norms, but values are what determined by family traits. Now, C is the correct option for that question, family traits. Now, every family, if you read up, every family has their values. They hold values such as, peace, love, honesty, integrity. These are some of the values that some family holds dear to. So now, individual values are determined by family traits. So you see people displaying some traits of love. These are things they've learned over time from their family. So it's not just something that, just shows up. Yes, sometimes it could be by, as you progress in age, maybe you weren't having this family trait of these positive beliefs or values. Now, as you grow up, you can actually progress to getting to know them by your beliefs and the norms, the things you've been seeing over time. Yes, that's not out of place, but it is basically determined by what? Family traits. Now, let's progress to the next question. Home management is concerned with A, we have issues relating to house care only. B, we have interior decoration and household equipment. C, we have skills necessary for effective management of the home. D, we have interior decoration and utilities in the home management. What is it concerned with? Is it about issues relating to house care only? No. So don't be cajoled by the name home management. It just has to do with taking care of the home, cleaning the house. No, that's not what home management is all about. Now, it's not also about interior decoration and household equipment. That's part of it. But that's not what it's all about. Just to keep the house clean and then make it look very beautiful, the artistic part of it. That's not it. Now, the correct answer to this question is skills. It is concerned, or it provides one with skills necessary for effective management of the home. That is what home management does. Now, it covers you being a mother, you being a father, you being a child, your roles. That's what home management is concerned about. So it gives you the skills for you to play your role effectively. Everybody plays their role effectively. Now, that's what home management is concerned with. So the correct answer for that question is C, skills necessary for effective management of the home. Now, let's progress to the next question. Work simplification is important because A, many homemakers play dual role of homemaking and wage earning. B, the society is becoming more sophisticated. C, there are less expensive work simplification gadgets in the market. D, many housewives are now educated. Now, work simplification, why is it important? Now, all of these options are listed here are not outrightly wrong because they actually connote some of the reasons why work simplification is what's important. Now, when you see questions like this, they don't really mean that all other options are not correct. but they are just telling you or asking you to tell us the most important out of all of these. We understand they are all important, but which of them is outrightly the most important or more important than the others? Now, work simplification has to do with, balancing, work life and house chores and managing everything, multitasking. Now, why is it important? Now, the first option we have here is many homemakers play dual role of homemaking and wage earning. Yes, of course. They are managing the home and as well working. So work simplification has to be very important. They have to apply it because it's not just one task that they are focusing on. They are doing many other things. They are multitasking. So it's very important that homemakers play dual role of homemaking and wage earning. So that's where work simplification comes in. So the right option for this question is A. Work simplification is important because many homemakers play dual role of homemaking and wage earning. So they have to do what? Apply work simplification. Now let's move on to the next question. Budgeting is required in money management too. Budgeting is required in money management to A. Avoid impulse buying. B. Buy shoes in bulk. C. Buy more food for health. D. Buy clothes in season. Why is budgeting required in money management? Now this is the question. Is it because I need to buy all the shoes that are in vogue, that are trending, all the clothes and the boutique and all of that? Is that why I should budget my money? Okay, no, that's not why. Now C is buy more food for health. Buy more food for health. That's not the sole reason why budgeting is required in money management. Yes, it could be part of it to buy food that are healthy, but that's not the sole priority of budgeting. Now, D, buy clothes in season. Okay, no, of course not. This is not the essence. Now, the essence of budgeting is because you want to avoid impulse buying. Now, A is the correct option. You want to avoid impulse buying. You don't just want to go to the market. You have 10,000 naira and you just go out to the market and then, you don't have any direction. You don't have any plan. You see a shoe, you buy. You see a bag, you buy. You see clothes, everything, you just want to buy. But if you have a budget, it guides you to know what you want. So you avoid impulse buying. If you have a budget drawn out, so as you get to the market, this is what I'm spending, 10,000 naira. Maybe, let's say, 5,000 naira is going to go for food items, maybe 3,000 for clothing, and 2,000 for any other thing. So budgeting helps you avoid impulse buying. Let's move on to the next question. The plan for future expenditures of a given family refers to. The plan for future expenditures of a given family refers to A, we have the market list. B, we have the time plan. C, we have the savings. D, we have the budget. The previous question is giving us a hint to this question. I'm sure you already know the answer. Okay, now the plan for future expenditures of a family, given family refers to what? The budget. The budget. Okay, now the market list has to do with those things you write. So you're going to the market, you just try and write those things down so you don't forget them. Now time plan has to do with you, planning how your work, the order of work in which you're going to be working in the kitchen. That's what time plan is related to. Savings, of course, has to do with you putting money aside for, future purposes and all of that. Now the plan for the future expenditures of a given family refers to what? The budget. The money you have, the plans you have would help you do what? Plan for your expenses, what you're going to be buying in the future. So the correct answer is D, which is the budget. Okay, let's look at the next question. Now, the relationship that exists between siblings exclude siblings. I'm sure you know who siblings are. Okay, now siblings are related and related by blood, legal adoption, and all of that. So these are siblings. Now, what connects their relationship? The question says relationship that exists between siblings exclude A, you have companionship. B, we have marriage. C, we have security. D, we have respect for each other. Of course, as siblings, now the relationship that should exist with you should be companionship. Siblings keep each other company. You know, your brother and sister, you know, you gist together, you watch TV together, you're friends. So yes, the relationship that could occur between siblings, or that could occur between siblings, could be companionship. That's one of the answers. Now, B, we have marriage. Is that a relationship that should exist between siblings? No, no, no. Okay, siblings are not expected to get married to each other. This is a no, no, no. So marriage is the correct answer. Siblings are not expected to do what? Get married. Now, siblings, of course, their relationship can include security. Okay, your big brother, big sis, you know, the younger ones can always look up to their older brother and sister and say, oh, my big brother would do this, my big brother, my big sis would do this. Security is one of the relationship that exists between siblings. Also, respect for each other's view. These are some of the relationships that exist between siblings. But for marriage, no. Marriage is not one of the relationships that exists. Siblings are not expected or supposed to get married to each other. So marriage is the correct answer to this question. The relationship that exists between siblings exclude marriage. They don't and shouldn't get married to each other. Now let's look at this question. Some of the major characteristics of the adolescent boy are. Some of the major characteristics of the adolescent boy are: A, we have change in voice and appearance. B, we have changes in brain development and skin. C, we have ability to argue and fight at school. D, we have the production of estrogen and progesterone. Now, what are the major characteristics of the adolescent boy? Now, A says change in voice and appearance. Yes, that's the correct answer. So the adolescent boy, as they progress into adolescence, they tend to have deeper voice, you know, this bass voice, and they tend to talk deep. And then also their appearance, some of them begin to see beards growing around, you know, their chin and all of that. So this is one major characteristic of the adolescent boy. Now, the other option says changes in brain development and skin. This could be part of it, but that's not a major characteristic of the adolescent boy. Ability to argue and fight at school. Of course, as you're growing up, you tend to do a lot of things, but that's not a major characteristic of the adolescent boy. Then D, the production of estrogen and progesterone. Now, this is not applicable to an adolescent boy. No, no, no. So the correct answer is A, change in voice and appearance. That's a major characteristic of the adolescent boy. Now let's move on to the next question. Which of the following family types include father, mother, children, and relations? Now this has to do with the family. Now, which of the family types include the father, mother, children, and relations? A, we have the nuclear family. B, we have the monogamous family. C, we have the beginning family. D, we have the extended family. So which of these family types includes the father, mother, children, and relations? Now, A, nuclear family. Nuclear family is restricted to just the father, mother, and children. The monogamous family has to do with the father, mother, children. Okay, so don't be mistaken. So the nuclear family is also known as a monogamous family. You know that, right? So the both of them are the same thing. Then we have the beginning family. Is there a thing of beginning family? Okay, no, of course. So D is extended family. So that answer to this question is what? Extended family. Extended family includes father, mother, your relations, that's your auntie, your uncles, cousins, you know. It's a larger family, so it's called the extended family. Now this is the type of family that includes your father, mother, children, and other relations. Let's move on to the next question. HIV, AIDS cannot be contacted through A. HIV/AIDS cannot be contacted through A, blood transfusion, B, unsterilized injection, C, manicure and pedicure, D, kissing. Now, if you go back to the topic, sexually transmitted diseases, you will be able to understand this question when we talked about how HIV spreads. How HIV spreads. Now, HIV/AIDS can be spread or can be gotten through what? Blood transfusion. If an infected blood is given to someone who is not infected, the person, of course, is going to be what? Infected with HIV/AIDS. Then B, unsterilized injection. So if it's not sterilized, the person can be infected. An individual can be infected with HIV. Manicure and pedicure, sharing these items, okay, sharp objects can actually get you infected with what? HIV/AIDS. Now, the last option here we have is kissing. Now, kissing is not, a one factor that can, that you can get contacted with HIV/AIDS. Now, HIV/AIDS has to do with, the contact of fluid, semen, blood, sharp objects. Now, kissing is not, HIV/AIDS cannot be contacted through kissing, but one has to be careful, because sometimes some persons can come up or have blisters in their mouths and all of that. You can never be so sure. But kissing is not an option when it comes to how HIV is being spread. So kissing is the correct answer because HIV/AIDS cannot be contacted through kissing. Now let's move on to the next question. Now, BCG vaccine administered on children is to build immunity against. So we talked about vaccinations, childcare, childbirth, and all of that in a frequently asked question in UTME. Now you can see that show up here again. BCG. Now this is a vaccination given to newborns when they are born. Now this vaccine is administered on children to build their immunity. Now what is this vaccine for? Why is it given to children? Now A, we have for against tuberculosis. B, we have smallpox. C, we have cholera. D, we have yellow fever. Why do they administer BCG to children? Now, for smallpox, we have the vaccine for smallpox. Cholera, we have a vaccine for cholera. Yellow fever, we have a vaccine for yellow fever. Now, for BCG vaccination, it is given to children because they want to build their immunity against A, tuberculosis. At that point when they are small and very tender, people tend to come, oh, beautiful baby, and everybody's bringing their face close to the babies and all of that. You can never be sure who has tuberculosis that will come close to the baby. And then if the baby gets in contact with someone who has tuberculosis, their lungs are just forming and coming up. It could be terrible. So it could be hazardous. So when this vaccine is given to newborns, it helps build their immunity against what? Tuberculosis. So that's why it's not even advisable for adults to really go when a baby is born, you just take your face close to them. It's not really advisable to do that because, they're still growing up and just adapting to the environment. So if an adult is infected with tuberculosis, it could cause an adverse effect to the newborn. So BCG vaccine is given to children because it needs to build their immunity against what? Tuberculosis. Please take note. Now let's move on to the next question. During childbirth, the expulsion of the placenta is referred to as, okay? During childbirth, the expulsion of the placenta is referred to as. A, we have the first stage of labor. B, the second stage of labor. C, the third stage of labor. D, the fourth stage of labor. Now, when a woman is due to give birth, there are 3 stages that are referred to as the stages of labor. That's the first stage. The first stage has to do with when the woman, start feeling the contractions, and then, she's feeling her body begins to dilate, the cervix begins to dilate. That's referred to as the first stage of labor. Then the second stage of labor is that stage when the woman actually is in labor to bring forth the baby. When she brings forth the baby, that is the second stage of labor. Then the third stage of labor is the expulsion of what? The placenta. That is the process when the placenta is brought out. Now the placenta is that item that the baby feeds on. That's the process, the connection between the mother and the baby. So when the child is born, the placenta has to come out. So that process is referred to as the third stage of labor. So they now get to bring out the placenta. So that is referred to as what? The third stage of labor. So C is the correct answer. During childbirth, the expulsion of the placenta is referred to as what? The third stage of labor, when the placenta is brought out. Now let's look at the next question. A major factor that influences the selection of equipment is. A major factor that influences the selection of equipment is. That has to be kitchen equipment, okay? Kitchen equipment, the things you work with in the kitchen. Now, what should be a major factor that should influence you choosing these items, to select them? A, color. Is it the color? Do you buy your kitchen equipment because the color is beautiful? That could be one of the reasons, but we're looking at a major, okay? We didn't just ask a factor. Now we're looking at a major factor. B, ease of operation. It's also a factor to consider your selection of what? Equipment. Also C, durability. D, let me go to D, costs. Cost is also a factor that influences the selection of your kitchen equipment or any other household equipment. But that's a major factor. Now, a major factor should be durability. So C is the correct answer, durability. You are going to buy an item because you want it to last for you. You want to use it for a longer period of time. All of these are factors to consider. You consider the color. People have preference for different colors. You consider the color, the ease of operation. You don't go and buy something you cannot operate. Okay, so is it easy to operate? You need to look out for that. The cost, is it something that is affordable? Can I buy it? It's also a factor to consider. But a major factor to consider is the durability. I won't go buying a blender because it looks beautiful, I can operate it, and the cost is okay. And then when I'm using it in less than a week, in a month, it's bad. It doesn't make any sense. So if I'm going to be buying a blender, I'm going to be buying a blender because it's durable. It's going to last for a long period of time. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be buying a blender. Now, so durability is the correct answer. Let's look at the next question. A major factor that affects the choice of a house is the A, we have the size of the family, B, we have the color scheme, C, we have the location of the house, D, we have the shape of the house. Now, the major factor is A. The option A is the correct answer, the size of the family. The size of the family is very, very important in choosing a house, because if newlyweds, they just got married and there are no children yet, they could do a self-con, they could do a one-bedroom, but as the family increases, as they have a child, they have children, the family tends to want to expand. They want more space. So it's very important. The size of the family is important. Now, not forgetting that all other options are also important. There are also factors to consider when choosing a home. The color scheme is very important. Of course, you want to look out for a very beautiful color when you're picking a home. Also, the location of the house. Where's the house located? You want to consider that as well. Are there markets around? Are there access to, is it accessible to the hospital, major links and all of that? You have to consider that as well. It's a factor. And also the shape of the house. It's also a factor. But the major factor that affects the choice of a house is the size of the family. So option A is the correct answer. Now let's move on to the next one. Which of the following is a common type of floor surface? Which of the following is a common type of floor surface? Okay, in our homes or in places you've visited, what common type of floor surface have you seen over time? A, we have plastic. Have you seen a plastic floor surface before? Okay. B, we have wood. Yeah, they are wood. Floor surfaces, yes. C, we have concrete. D, we have leather. Now, which of the following is common that you get to see almost like every time, everywhere you go? If you go to 5 houses, you get to see it like in 3 houses or 4 out of the 5. So which of these is common? Okay, of course, C is the correct answer, concrete. Concrete is a common type of floor surface. So concrete is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. A cleaning agent recommended for the prevention of blockage in a sink is, a cleaning agent recommended for the prevention of blockage in a sink is, A, we have an iron sponge, B, we have a steel wool, C, we have a nylon sponge, D, we have fresh leaves. And now, you know, which sponge is suitable for our sink so it doesn't get blocked? Iron sponge is one type of sponge. Of course, we used to, it's more or less like an abrasive. We used to clean our sponge. A steel wool, okay, that's another type of sponge used as well, an item for cleaning also. Then the nylon sponge is preferable, okay? This does not allow for blockage of sink because it is covered. You know, everything is covered inside, so you just use it, it's sealed, and then you just get to wash your kitchen utensils and move on. So it's recommended because it prevents the blockage of our sink. You know, most times our sink gets blocked because sometimes maybe the iron sponge, some of the particles would have fallen in, and all of that, it blocks the sink. So the suitable recommended sponge or cleaning agent is the nylon sponge, which is option C. This is okay. Yeah, so basically use fresh leaves to wash your kitchen utensils, but of course leaves would do a lot of blockage to your sink, so it's not recommended. The correct answer is C, nylon sponge. Let's move on to the next question. Household pests can be controlled through the use of, household pests can be controlled through the use of A, insecticides, B, kerosene, C, alcohols, D, pestifume. Now, which of the options is used for household pests? Of course, A, as the name implies, insecticides. Insecticides are used to do what? To keep or to control the invasion of pests in our home. Kerosene, yes, can be used, you know, but not advisable. C, alcohols, no. D, pestifumes, they are not used for household pests. So insecticides are used to control household pests. So A is the correct option. Let's move on to the next question. Consumer rights and protection means consumer rights. What are consumer rights and protection? What do they mean? A, we have selling goods at reduced cost and giving free will of choice. B, advertising a product. C, coercing consumers to buy. D, to be informed rightly and giving free will of choice. Now, what is consumer education? Consumer education has to do with what? Educating consumers on what to buy, their rights, and all that pertains to them when it comes to them knowing what is essential for them as consumers. Purchasing, you know, rights to seek redress, a whole lot of rights. Now, what does this mean? Consumer rights and protection, what does it mean? Selling goods at reduced cost and giving free will of choice, that's not what consumers do. They don't sell goods. Consumers, of course, they take in goods, they buy. Okay, B, advertising a product, that's not what consumer rights and protection means. C, coercing consumers to buy, no, that's not the essence of consumer rights and protection. D is the correct answer, to be informed rightly and giving free will of choice. Now, consumers are being informed, they are able to know their rights as per when it comes to purchases of goods and what their choices are. Okay, they have the free will to make choices. Now, consumer rights and protection means D, to be informed rightly and giving the free will of choice. So D is the correct answer. Also, one of the principles of consumer education is that A, we have principles of consumer education, guidelines of consumer education, all of this. So go back, you know, read up. consumer education. One of the principles of consumer education is that A, it clarifies values, B, it identifies goals, C, information about products and services are valuable, D, it weighs alternative amongst products and services. Now, fine and good. One of the principles of consumer education, does it clarify values? No. Does it identify goals? No. C, information about products and services are valuable. This is one of the principles of consumer education. So C is the correct answer. Also, it weighs alternative among products and services. This could be one of it, but not absolutely. So the correct answer to this question is C. The principles of consumer education is that information about products and services are valuable. What they are giving you is, is the correct thing. The information is valid, is valuable. So that's one of the principles of consumer education. Now let's move on to the next question. Fats and oil keep the body A, smooth, B, slim, C, warm, D, strong. Now you're going to go back to the functions of nutrients. This is where you're going to find the answer to this question. So what is fat and oil? What is the function of fat and oil? Fat and oil, of course, keeps the body warm. One of the functions is that it keeps the body warm. So C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Fat and oil, of course, when you take a lot of fat and oil, it covers up with, it makes a person that's not too fat, you could add up, okay? But it doesn't keep the body slim. It doesn't keep the body smooth or strong. It likely could keep the body smooth, but that's not the essence of fat and oil. Okay, so it keeps the body warm. Fat and oil in the body helps the body to retain heat. So C is the correct answer. The characteristics flavor of meat is derived from the characteristic flavor of meat, beef, is derived from its A, we have the lactic acid and amino acids. B, we have vitamins and minerals. C, we have actin and myosin. D, we have minerals and extractives. Now, the extractive flavor, that distinctive flavor that makes your meat, taste beautiful. And when you simmer it, the stock that comes out of it, what is that? Very, very important. That characteristic flavor is caused or derived from what? The minerals and extractives we have derived from the meat. So D is the correct answer, minerals and extractives. Okay, that's the characteristic flavor of meat. You derive the minerals and the extractive from the meat, and it is simmered. As you boil it, you get that. That's why the stock is used for broth. Is very, 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 proteinous. It's very good. It's very healthy. It can be used for, as a healthy meal to make a whole lot of things as a base for stock and sauces. So minerals and extractive is the correct answer. Now, in the body, iron is mainly stored in the body. Iron is mainly stored in we have A, the liver, B, we have spleen, C, we have the lung tissue, D, we have the bone marrow. Now, iron, where is it basically stored? A is the correct answer, liver, but not leaving the fact that iron can be stored also in the bone marrow and the spleen. Yes, iron can be stored in the spleen and the bone marrow, but it is mainly stored in what? The liver. All of these, it can be stored in the spleen, it can be stored in the bone marrow, but a whole chunk or bulk of it is stored in the liver, which makes liver the correct answer to this question. So iron is mainly stored in the liver. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is not a function of salt as a seasoning agent? Which of the following is not a function of salt as a seasoning agent? A, we have provide sodium and chloride in the diet. Of course, this is a function of salt. That's what salt does. It provides sodium and chloride in the diet. B, helps to improve the natural flavors of food. Yes, this is a function of salt. That's what it does. It helps to improve the natural flavor of food. C, acts as a preservative for many foods. Yes, yes. Salt can be used as a preservative method for our foods. You know, in those days, when there were no fridges and all of that, you can just preserve your food with salt and then store it. So this is correct. Also, D, removes the color of food. Does salt do that? Okay, now this is not the function of salt. Salts do not remove the color of food. So this makes option D the answer because it is not a function of salt. It does not remove the color of food. Let's move on to the next question. A strict vegetarian diet should include plenty of A, we have fresh fruits and vegetables. B, we have plenty of chicken and eggs. C, we have eggs and milk. D, we have fresh fruits and milk. A strict vegetarian. Do you know who a strict vegetarian is? Now we have different types of vegetarians. We have the strict vegetarians, we have the lacto-vegetarians, we have the lactovo-vegetarians. Now a strict vegetarian is a type of vegetarian, or that is referred to a vegan, who does not eat anything that has to do with animal products, okay? But they derive their food from plants and vegetables, okay? Plant, vegetables and all of that. So a strict vegetarian, what should be their diet? Okay, now B, we have chicken and eggs. Of course, they do not take animal food from animal or their products. So, of course, he won't take chicken. He or she won't take chicken or eggs. They won't take eggs and milk. They won't take fresh fruits and milk. All milk is a product of what? An animal product. So option A is the correct answer because a strict vegetarian would only take fresh fruits and vegetables. A strict vegetarian will only take fresh fruits. That's where they derive their what? Proteins from fresh fruits and what? Vegetables. So A is the correct answer. Now, which of the following is common to all beverages? Which of the following is common to all beverages? A, they are highly nutritious. B, they are all liquid. C, they are solid and room temperature. D, they can be served anytime. Which is common to beverages? Okay, beverages, of course, yeah, they are nutritious, some of them. Nutritious, not all of them. B, they are all liquid. Yes, yes, yes. B is the correct answer. Everything that is referred to as a beverage, okay, is in liquid form. So this is something that is common amongst all beverages. They are all liquid. Of course, they are solid at room temperature. No. D, they can be served anytime. Yes, they could be served anytime, but it's not something that is common amongst beverages. So B is the correct answer. They are all liquid. All beverages are what? Liquid. Let's move on to the next question. Fresh meat, which is to be used for soup, is first A, we have salted. B, steamed. C, simmered. D, stewed. Fresh meat, which is to be used for soup, is first what? A, salted. B, steamed. C, simmered. D, stewed. The correct answer here is what? Simmered. Okay, you get to simmer your meat and derive the stock or the minerals and extractives that you get from the meat and then progress to use it in cooking. Now let's look at the next question. Diced and finely toasted bread used to garnish soups are referred to as A, we have croutons. B, we have rolls. C, we have crumbs. D, we have crackers. Now, which of these is if diced and finely toasted bread used to garnish soup? A, we have croutons. Croutons are, fine or diced toasted bread. They're mostly used to garnish soup. So croutons is the correct answer. Rolls, of course, rolls are used for bread rolls. Crumbs, are not used for garnishing, but they can be used for coating. You know, use breadcrumbs for coating. Then crackers. Of course, we know what we use crackers for. We eat them. So the correct answer is A, croutons. Diced and finely toasted bread used to garnish soups are referred to as what? Croutons. Now, as a French term. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Next question. The rising agent used in the preparation of omelette is the rising agent used in the preparation of omelets. Now, we have different types of rising agents that are used in our food making or meal preparation. Okay, now the first option here is yeast. Okay, we have yeast. Yeast is mostly used in bread making when we make bread and other dough products such as your donut, you know, your puff. You can use yeast as a rising agent. B, we have air. C, we have baking powder. D, we have baking soda. All of these are rising agents, but which of these is, you know, okay for making an omelette? See, we have baking powder. Baking powder is in use for an omelette. Baking soda is in use. It's not a rising agent that is used for baking soda as well. The correct answer to this question is air. Air. Air is a rising agent used in the preparation of omelette. You know, when you have your egg and then you want to prepare it and you keep stirring it, what you're doing, you're inculcating air into the egg. And as you keep stirring it and then you put it on fire and then it cooks and then it comes up, air is the rising agent that is used in preparing omelette. So air is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. A combination of fat and flour cooked together is a combination of fat and flour cooked together is a sauce, B, a rouse, C, a puree, D, a broth. Now, fat and oil, a combination of fat in ratio 5:10 usually sometimes, and cooked together is referred to as what? B, rouse. That's the correct answer. Okay, when you combine fat and flour and cook them together, it is referred to as what? Rouse. It's a thickening agent, a liaison used to thicken food when preparing, especially for sauces. So rouse is a combination of fat and flour cooked together. Of course, sauce is not that. Puree is vegetables or fruits that are, you know, grinded together. That's not a combination of fat and flour. Broth is, you know, from meat stock and all of that. So the correct answer is rouse. Let's move on to the next question. Pancake is a type of A, a coating batter, B, a flaky pastry, C, a short crust pastry, D, a plain batter. Pancake. Now, coating batter can be referred to this batter we use in coating food to, you know, retain the heat and not to let them get burnt easily. But is pancake a type of a batter for coating? No. It's not a flaky pastry. It's not a short crust pastry. Short crust pastry has to do with those pastries or meat pie, sausages, and all of that. So it is not categorized in that direction. Pancake is a type of plain batter, okay, where we add a sugar, eggs, optional, and then we make something delicious out of it. So pancake is a type of a plain batter. Now let's move on to the next question. Iodine test on food implies testing for, okay, iodine test on food implies testing for A, we have carbohydrates, B, proteins, C, fats, D, vitamins. When you do iodine test, what does it imply? What food test are you looking out for, or where are you carrying this test on? Now this will take you back to classification of nutrients, okay? The topic, classification of nutrients. Here you're going to find out test for different nutrients, test for carbohydrates, test for proteins, test for fats and oil. So this is going to take you, so iodine test on food implies testing for what? A, carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is the correct answer. So when you take iodine test, you're probably looking out for the presence of what? Carbohydrates in a food. Now let's move on to the next question. A statement of ingredients and procedure for preparing a dish is, I'll take that again, a statement of ingredients and procedure for preparing a dish is, A, we have the recipe, B, we have a formula, C, we have a method, D, we have condiment. Now, what is a statement of ingredients and procedure for preparing a dish? No, they give you something, they say, oh, follow this procedure, you know, how to make cake. Maybe you go to YouTube and they say, oh, you need to make cake, and they give you something. What is that thing called? They give you a process or a procedure. What is it called? Your guess is as good as mine. It is referred to as what? The recipe. It is called the recipe. So a recipe is a statement of ingredients or procedure for preparing a dish. It's a set of instructions given for you to follow. So someone can give you a recipe and then you can make something you have never made before by following through with the recipe. So a recipe is the correct answer. A formula has nothing to do with this. A method, you can refer to it as a method. As a home economics student, you will say a recipe. Then condiments of course are those things we use in, you know, preparing our food. So it is not the correct answer. The correct answer is the recipe. Let's move on. Now, the next question says, in the care of kitchen equipment, it is important to A, leave the equipment plunged. In the care of kitchen equipment, it is important to A, leave the equipment plunged. B, clean all movable parts. C, clean using manufacturer's instructions. D, clean daily after use. The care of kitchen equipment, it is important to do what? Is it to leave them, you know, plugged when after using them? Of course, no, that's not how to care for your kitchen equipment. Okay, is it to clean all movable parts? No, that's not how to care for kitchen equipment. Is it also to clean using manufacturer's instructions? Yes, it is important to use that. Okay, yes, but the correct answer to this question is D. You clean daily after use. You don't keep them. After using your kitchen equipment, you make sure you clean them and keep them for the next use. Okay, so it will be okay when you need to use them. So D is the correct answer. Clean daily after each use. After using them, make sure you clean them and put them back to their rightful place or positions. Now let's look at the next question. An arrangement where kitchen equipment are placed along 3 walls is referred to as. An arrangement where kitchen equipment are placed along 3 walls is referred to as. A, we have the L-shaped kitchen. We have the U-wall kitchen. C, we have the U-shaped kitchen. D, we have the one-wall kitchen. Now, you remember I told you that when you look at the topic, kitchen equipment and utensils, you should get grasp of what the different types of kitchen layouts. Now, this would help you understand this different kitchen arrangement. Now, I said we have the L-shaped, we have the corridor type, we have the U-shaped, and then the one-wall kitchen type. Now, which of these where kitchen equipment are placed along 3 walls, what is it referred to? Now, the L shape, you know, it's this way. Kitchen equipment is placed between 2 walls, to this part and then to this part. That's the L shape. Then also the U shape, you have the U shape. So kitchen arrangement where your equipment can be placed on this part, and then this other part. So it is referred to as what? The U shape. It has the 3 walls, one here, and one here. So when you draw your U, you can store kitchen equipment here, this way, and then this way. So the U-shaped kitchen is the correct answer. An arrangement where kitchen equipment are placed along 3 walls is referred to as what? The U-shaped kitchen. So go back, read up. So you are not taken away. It might be another type of kitchen layout. The question might likely come up. So go and get those information so you understand it better. Let's move on to the next question. The science and practice of maintaining health and preventing disease is termed A, we have hygiene, B, we have dietetics, C, we have nutrition, D, we have sanitation. Now, the science of practice of maintaining health and preventing disease is termed A, hygiene. Hygiene is the correct answer. Hygiene is the correct answer. Dietetics is a part or a course that has to do with the study of what? Home economics. Nutrition is a part or a study that has to do with what? Home economics. Sanitation. Sanitation has to do with the cleaning, the general cleaning of what? Our environment and our space. Okay? Now, the science and practice of maintaining health and preventing disease is termed hygiene. So hygiene is the correct answer. Okay, let's look at this question. Injuries on the skin without any cut but swollen and painful is A, we have scald, B, bruise, C, burn, D, tear. Now, the correct answer to this question is a bruise. Now, we've looked at some of these topics in our previous videos. So if you've not seen them, please go back and look at previous videos on home economics. You're going to see them. We've treated this topic so you can, be on top of your game. Now, when you talk about scald, all these are injuries on the skin. When you work in the kitchen, you come in contact with a whole lot of hazards. Now, some of the hazards of injuries you can actually have or get in the process of working in the kitchen could be scald. One of them is referred to as scald. Now, scald is that injury that is caused on the skin when the skin comes in contact with hot liquid or steam. So it forms a scald and causes blisters. Like a water content in it. You don't get to burst that blisters. You go see those videos and you're going to get an understanding of what we mean. Then bruise is a kind of injury to the skin. That is swollen and painful. This could be as a result of a hit, a blow on the skin, or a hard surface hitting the skin. It causes a bruise. Just leaves that place, purplish red and and painful. Then C, a burn is a type of injury to the skin that is caused by hot, the skin coming in contact with hot objects. It could be a skillet or a burner. So when the skin comes in contact with a hot object, it causes a burn to the skin. A tear could be a cut and a laceration. That could be it. But injuries on the skin without any form of cut, but swollen and painful, is referred to as what? A bruise. Now let's go to the next question. Rancidity is a type of spoilage associated with A, we have frozen beef, B, we have frozen chicken, C, we have butter, D, we have milk. Now, rancidity is a type of spoilage, and it's a term referred to when something is bad. So rancidity is a type of spoilage associated with C. The correct option here is C, butter. When butter is bad, it becomes odorless and tasteless. So it's referred to as what? Rancidity. That is what that spoilage is referred to, and it is common or associated with what? Butter. When butter is bad, it's referred to as what? Rancidity. That's the term used for it. Now we have secateurs is used for A, raking, B, transplanting, C, cutting, D, planting. Now this has to do with the tools we use for the house in keeping the environment clean. Now secateur is used for C, for cutting. This is scissors-like look we use to cut our flowers, to trim them and make them look beautiful, okay? To cut flowers or hard branches that are not so hard. They're referred to as what? Secateurs. So the correct answer is what? For cutting. It is used for cutting. Raking, we use a rake for raking. Transplanting, we use other objects for transplanting. It is not used for transplanting, and it's not also an object used for what? Planting. So the correct answer is cutting. Secateurs are used for what? Cutting. You know, it has a scissors-like look, but bigger than a scissors, but it's used for cutting. Now the next question here is embossing of fabric means. Embossing of fabric means, what does it mean? A, impressing a figure. B, waterproofs. C, stain repellent. D, flame proofing. What does it mean to emboss a fabric? Now, it means A, impressing a figure. When one embosses, you're using heat transfer to put, using a 3D format to put an object on a material, on a clothing or an object. That is referred to as what? Embossing. To impress a figure on a fabric. That is referred to as what? Embossing. So don't forget that. Embossing is what? Impressing a figure on a fabric using heat transfer. Let's move on to the next question. Textile labels help to identify the A, we have brand name. B, trademark. C, seller's name. D, company's name. Now, textile labels, you know, if you remember, I said introduction to textiles is a question that shows up frequently in UTME questions, past questions, and it's been consistent for the past years. So you don't want to skip this topic when you're, you know, going back to read. And we say textile labels help to identify. We see those textile labels on fabrics when we buy them. What do they do? What do they really signify? Is it to identify the brand name? Is it for the trademark? C, for seller's name, or the company's name? A is the correct answer. It helps to identify the brand name. Now, not leaving out these other options as incorrect, no. These other options are correct as well. Now, a textile label could also help to identify the trademark, you know, where this is coming from. Also, the seller's name. I could also identify that. A textile label, it will also identify the company's name. But all of these are embedded in the brand's name. So the brand's name is very important when textile labels are concerned. The next question here, we have stains from milk are referred to as stains from milk are referred to as A, we have the vegetable stains. B, we have the animal stains. C, we have mineral stains. D, we have grease stains. Stains from milk. Milks are products from what again? If you remember, we've talked about that. Milk are products from what? Animals. So what would your answer be? Of course, B, animal stains. So they are referred to as what? Animal stains. Stains from milk are referred to as what? Animal stains. So maybe stains from vegetables, or maybe stains from juice. Maybe you have a juice drop on your dress. Could be referred to as what? Maybe stains from a juice. Could be referred to as vegetable stains, of course, yes. So that could be referred to as vegetable stains. Mineral stains, what could be referred to as mineral stains? Okay, let's progress. But the correct answer to this question is B, animal stains, because they are from milk. That's the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following fabrics should a short, overweight person wear? Which of the following fabrics should a short, overweight person wear? Now, this has to do with the topic that has to do with figure types. Figure types. Here you're able to know what you should wear, what will fit you, and what you're not to wear, okay? By knowing your figure type. You know, are you petite? Are you on the large side? You know, medium, and all of that. So you're going to know all of that when you study the topic on what? figure types. Now, which of these following fabrics should a short, overweight person wear? We have A, spotted. B, we have strips running around. C, we have bold flowers. D, we have straight down strips. Now, the correct answer to this question is D, straight down strips. Now, what does straight down strip does? You know, what we wear sometimes help, you know, gives an illusion of how we tend to look. If I'm not on the fat side, what I wear would affect what or how I look. I shouldn't wear strips running around, you know, it just makes me straight down there. You know, I should wear something that would help give me an illusion to be fat and then give me an illusion that, you know, I'm not too thin. So these are some of the things that you look out for when, you know, you study your figure types and the clothing that are necessary for each of them. Now, for a short, overweight person, this person should wear a straight down strips. What does a straight down strip clothing does? It gives an illusion that the person is what? Slim and not too fat and tall. That's what a vertical line does. It helps you feel like, okay, you're not too fat and you have this, and it gives you an illusion of what? Feeling slim. So a short, overweight person should wear a straight down strips. It will give an illusion of not too fat and, you know, making you look slim. So D is the correct answer. A process of mending a hole in a woven fabric is A, we have patching, B, we have crocheting, C, we have darning, D, we have sanforizing. Now, which of these is the correct answer? A process of mending a hole in a fabric is C. The correct answer is C, darning. Now, darning is that process of mending a hole. Okay, sometimes it is done using your hand. It can be done using your hand, but sometimes it can be done using a machine as well. Okay, it's to do what? To mend a hole in a fabric, so it's not obvious to the third party or to another eye. So darning is that process of what? Mending a hole in a woven fabric using your hands or using a sewing machine. And let's move on to the next question. A stitch used in transferring the markings on the patterns to the fabric is referred to as what? A stitch used in transferring the markings on the pattern to the fabric is A, we have the tailor stacking, B, we have basting, C, we have over sewing, D, we have herringbone. So which of these is used in transferring the markings on the pattern to the fabric? We have A as the tailor tacking. This is the correct answer. Tailor tacking is a stitch used in transferring the markings on the pattern to the fabric. Okay? It is very common a stitch that is used. So like I said, you need to go back to studying or reading basic or sewing processes, you know, the basic sewing processes. This is where you're going to learn about the stitch. What a stitch is, what the different types of stitches are. So a tailor stacking is one stitch that is used to transfer markings on patterns to a fabric. So A is the correct answer. A suitable finishing for materials that do not fray is a suitable finishing for materials that do not fray is A, we have edge stitching, B, we have pinking, C, we have bound seam, D, we have French seam. Now, there are different types of finishing when it comes to making of fabric and when it comes to clothing. So now, a type of finishing or a suitable finishing for materials that do not fray is referred to as pinking. Is referred to as what? Pinking. So pinking is a suitable finishing for materials that do not fray. So B is the correct answer. Now let's look at this question. Which of these is not a laundry agent? Which of these is not a laundry agent? Now, laundry agents are those items that helps or aids the washing process. Okay, now which of these is not a laundry agent? A, we have detergent. B, we have water. C, we have stiffeners. D, we have perks. Now, detergent, of course, is a laundry agent. B, water is also a laundry agent. It's used to wash our clothing. C, stiffeners is also a what? A laundry agent, where we apply starch or an external stiffener to make our clothes look more firm and beautiful. Now, perks. One is not a laundry agent, okay? It is something that aids after you're done washing. It just helps you what? Hold your clothes in place so they don't fly and then get dirty. So D is the correct answer. Perks, they are not what? Laundry agent. Is not a laundry agent. It could be said not to be referred to as what? A laundry agent. Let's look at the next question. Starch is used in laundry to stiffen. Starch is used in laundry to stiffen A, wool and silk materials. B, cotton and linen materials. C, cotton and woolen materials. D, linen and silk materials. Starch. If I may ask, you know what starch is? Okay. Now, it is something edible, a byproduct gotten from cassava. Okay. Now, it is processed and used as a stiffener for our clothing. It's edible as well. People eat starch. Okay, but this process, it is used in a way where the byproduct is used to do what? To help our clothes look firm, like it's very beautiful on shirts. Now, which of these materials or which of these fabric is suitable for using starch? Is it for wool and silk materials? Of course, no. Is it for cotton and linen materials? Yes, yes, yes. Cotton and linen materials, starch is needed because it makes it look beautiful. It stiffens it and makes it outstanding by the time you iron them. For cotton and woolen materials, it's a no, no, no. Linen and silk materials, no. So the suitable use or fabric used for starch to be applied is what? Cotton and linen materials. It makes it look beautiful. So B is the correct answer. Okay, finally, let's look at this last question. Steeping is done in laundry too. Steeping is done in laundry too. A, to fasten the color on clothes. B, to remove stains. C, to loosen the dirt. D, kills germs on clothes. Now, before you proceed, you need to understand what steeping is. What is steeping? Steeping is that process. Some of us call it soaking. We soak our clothes. Okay, steeping is that process whereby we put our clothes into water with a little bit of detergent added to it, and to loosen the dirt on them before we now progress to washing them. So that process is called steeping. Maybe you've been calling it soaking. You soak your dress a bit. So it's referred to as what? Steeping. So steeping is that process whereby dirts are raw, kept to loosen a bit before we wash them. So the correct answer is C. C is the correct answer. Steeping is done in laundry to loosen the dirt. So by the time you go back to wash them, you soak them for a period of time. Then by the time you go back to wash them, it's easier to wash and then the dirt gets off easily. Okay, so thank you. I'm sure you're going to be doing amazing well in your forthcoming exams. So read up, go back to all our previous videos and study, and I'm sure you're going to come out in flying colors. Thank you so much and see you in our next class. Bye for now.